Can I go ahead and do that? Will anything happen?
I will cut you off.
You're going to cut me off.
Yes, I will.
I mean, to restrict me in that way is sort of, I mean, you are part of the MPAA. They're the people, that I'm, it's their organization that I'm, sort of up against here. And then you're restricting, my opportunity to speak. It's like I'm going kind of into a stacked situation here in a way. I mean, at least I'm actually very surprised to hear that I couldn't actually, that I would actually get cut off.
It's not as if
I
you're
can't
not
even
allowed to speak, Kirby,
basically,
but every
the points
system
that I
has
want
its
to make.
rules, and you have to follow those rules.
But do I say, do I introduce myself individually to each person? They say, hi, I'm such and such from such and such, and
No, I'm afraid we don't do that.
Can I have a list of the people that are there just so that I know who those people are who've made a decision?
No, absolutely
I
not.
I can't even have a list of the people who made a decision about my film?
No, you don't need to know those
Well,
names.
wait a minute. That doesn't seem right because this is not a secret board. I mean, the ratings board is secret, but this isn't secret. So why can't I at least have a list of those names? I mean, that doesn't, that seems like a sort of a star chamber or something. They're gone. Hello? 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 Hello?
We're here.
Oh, where'd you go?
We're just looking at the rules.
I see. Well, but nonetheless, Greg, why can't I have that list of those names? I mean...
Kirby, we choose not to make those names public.
But it's not a secret board, is it?
I'm not going to tell you their names.
From the very beginning, when we got our NC-17 rating, there was an undue emphasis put on the fact that it was not to do with the homosexual content. And that was repeated, and it made me actually come to understand that it probably was to do with that.
Fuck Vince! We're buddies, we're pals, we're partners, we're a duo. We love each other, but we don't. Fuck!
The lady who was there from the MPAA told me, you're so close. If only you could make that scene a bit fuzzier. And then she stopped herself and said, but I'm not an artist, I don't know how you compose that. And I felt like saying, no, that's brilliant what you're saying. Keep going, would you like to edit my next film? You're a visionary.
It's Dennis from Screen International.
I can always say I gave it our best shot. I mean, we really did. And what they were asking us to do at this point would have been, completely unacceptable. So the film will go out as it was originally intended. There's nothing to do. I mean, you can't reappeal. We resubmitted it in 2 different versions, and this was the final stage. In this particular case, it means that people won't be able to see the film theatrically in many parts of the country. The other thing that was very surprising, I must say, which I only found today, is that there are members of the clergy in the room. They are specifically from 2 denominations, Episcopalian and Catholic, and there's no rotating basis. I mean, it's always going to be Episcopalian and Catholic. They do not vote, but they are part of the secret discussion, which you are not privy to.
Who is the person who's usually there from Cara?
It is usually Joan Grace, but a different person in the MPA actually, runs it. Usually one of their attorneys.
I see. Do you know their names?
I probably shouldn't divulge.
So even the chair, that's also secret?
Well, yes, it's probably better if we don't mention names.
So now these 2 members of the clergy are there too, right?
As observers.
As observers. Do they ever ask any questions? Or
No.
anything? No.
They are not permitted according to the rules.
So they actually are totally mum. They don't speak at all. So what do they do when they're there?
They behave the same way as all of us. They watch the movie, possibly participate in discussion, and they cast a vote.
They do cast a vote?
Yes.
Have there always been clergy since the time that you've been there?
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about that?
Since they were only observers, I really didn't give it a second thought.
What is the kind of rationale behind having clergy on the board?
I have no idea. I guess they feel that maybe they have a horse in the race and that they should be entitled to an opinion, but I don't know, honestly.
Why are they there?
Frankly, I really haven't thought about that because I don't consider them part of the process. They're just there. So it's sort of part of the wallpaper. So
I'm already divulging a lot here that I probably shouldn't be divulging. I just, at some point, I think I have to draw a line and be careful.
This is something that we need you to look into. This is a really important thing we found out. We found out that there are 2 members of the clergy on the appeals board.
Really?
A Catholic priest and an Episcopalian priest. And this is the backroom deal that they don't tell anybody about. So,
I'm just
is that
curious.
something you can do?
Absolutely. I'm just curious
How
why.
would you go about doing that, though?
One, they would be associated with a church.
Okay.
Okay, well, if I run their names, it'll come up with all the
I
associations.
see.
If they are ministers, the church is going to come up.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Cool.
I have been asked by the National Council of Churches to represent them, Protestants, and join forces, if you will, with the Catholic office, and they have representatives that come. And our role is to attend the hearings for appeals.
The relationship between church groups and censorship is apparent, palpable. It always has been, whether it be Lenny Bruce or whether it be Comstock.
Valenti, wisely, I think, felt that this should be a transparent process, but it couldn't be broadcast to the public. So he reached the conclusion that with religious representatives in the room, that would at least indicate to the religious bodies and to the public, if they ask, that this is an above-board process.
There's a whole moralistic tone to the room. I mean, these are moral censors. These are people who are making judgments about other people's morality. There aren't that many places in the United States where you get that.
How is the vote taken?
It's, what do you mean, how is it taken?
How are the votes cast in the appeal?
Ask Joan that. I mean, everybody knows who comes to the meetings, but I don't think that's a question I should answer.
What is your relationship like with Joan Graves?
We're friends, and I respect her film knowledge, and I respect the tough job that she has. And she has the delicate role of trying to make the filmmaker realize, make your picture, make it work. But realize that if you go down this road too far, you're cutting off a certain audience, and that's your choice. We don't want to restrict the film artist. We want to give the artist the freedom to make the films they want to make. But we do not want to make it totally free.
December 21st, 2005 was the day of my appeal. No cameras or press were permitted inside the building, and there was no written record of the proceedings. The chair was Greg Geckner, the attorney for the MPAA. Everyone was given a badge with only a number on it. My number was 22. After introducing myself, I asked for the names of the people on the appeals board. The chair refused my request. I then asked for the name of the member of clergy present. That name was also refused. When I turned to the board and asked if any one of them would identify themselves, there was complete silence. The chair suggested that if I had a problem with the system, I should send a letter to the MPAA. I countered that it was the basic right of any appellant to know the people deciding his appeal. A board member yelled out that I was confused about the rules, and another shouted that I was wasting their time. The NC-17 rating was upheld by a 10-0 vote. I later learned the MPAA was so afraid of exposing the names of the appeals board members that Joan Graves made a special arrangement for them to meet first, and then she transported them all in and out of the building in a black van with tinted windows. But what they didn't know is that 3 months earlier, on the date of another appeal, Becky was outside that same building.
Okay, Lindsay. 4 Victor Adam Paul 038. Yeah, this is really good. 2 Charles Adam 619.
going to be on my tombstone, Harry, but I'd like to write it and say that the modest legacy that Jack Valenti left the movie industry was he freed the screen from all artificial barriers.